Lake Cicott. Look at this, authorized vehicles only. I'll tell you what, I'm authorized. I authorize myself. Let's go check things out here. We're going to take up to about 80 feet elevation above ground level. Then we're going to check out this lake here. Lake Cicott, it's a natural lake. People say, oh, it's so deep, nobody knows how deep it is, blah, blah. That's bull. So, but years ago, 15 years ago, this lake was pretty full. You could see where, like, maybe the top left of the screen where, like, the historic, beach or the historic, banks typically are. But over the last 20 years, it slowly just went down. This bridge that you see right here was put in because on the island on the right, well, it used to be an island, somebody built a house there. And they needed a bridge to get back and forth, leave their house. But once the lake started drying up, they moved the house. It was just a modular house that somebody pulled in there. They moved it out, and it's no longer standing there, but the bridge is still there. You can see these low spots, in the natural lake where it used to be. And it was a lot bigger than it is now, the full lake. You can see it goes way back over there, and there's still some natural low spots. If you look while we're flying, there are some animal trails that have come, where the deer come through and have made their trail. So as the water receded, the animals have taken over that area, and so it works out. It's still looking good. We will flip around. Look at that. Just beautiful trees that just go forever. It's a real nice part of the country that we live in. At least I think so, but I'm kind of partial to it. Been here most of my life. So you can see what's left now of what they consider the lake. Significantly smaller. I'd say it's maybe a third of the size that it used to be. But people go fishing here. I've never really had any luck here fishing. But people say it's really good fishing. They maybe know something I don't. Now we're coming up upon a bunch of Canadian geese, and I scared them just a little bit. So I decided to stop and say, you know what? I'm not here to harass the animals, so I'll just stop, wait a minute, let them get settled in, kind of look around. They're still not happy about me flying there. I'm about 80 feet over them. They're not real happy about it, but it is what it is. I'll try to zoom in on them a little bit, get a little better view, but one thing I have noticed that the camera on this drone, this Autel Evo 2 Pro, is in zoom, it's not really clear. It's as clear as you might get from, a higher end camera. Which you could probably get one of those and put it on there. We'll continue on down the lake. And you can see it's been below freezing here. It hasn't gotten above freezing for, I'd say, 3-4 days. And you can see the ice start forming around the edges. I'd say another week of that, and there'll probably be a thin layer of ice over the whole lake if it doesn't pop up above freezing. Today's one of the first days that it's actually been real sunny, and the wind hasn't been blowing pretty hard. It's still blowing. You can tell in the ripples in the water that the wind's blowing. But what was it? 24 hours ago, that wind, it was real cold, and the wind was just howling, and it sucked the heat right out of you. And this boat here, it's pontoon. It's been here for quite a long time, as many years as I can remember. It was once in the water. I believe they had it moored there, which not to a dock, but just anchored out just offshore. But you can tell that that's not, it hasn't been in the water. I don't think it's moved in probably at least 10 years. It's just been sitting there. Now you can see a lot more of that ice, and Just look how crystal clear that water is in this. Oh, I don't know how deep it is here, maybe 2 feet, 3 feet. The shallower parts around this lake, especially in the summertime, just lily pads, just thick everywhere. So trying to fish that, I mean, unless you're really good at that kind of thing, it makes it a pain for just the casual fisher. Now we'll go over and kind of tilt down to get that sun out of the camera. I went up, I think, about 150 feet here in this view. And we'll just cruise back over the lake. Yeah. So this is what kind of going to do on some videos. Just put my own audio over some videos and call it RamChat. So welcome to this edition of RamChat. We're going to go check out those geese again. And right now, maybe just take some time to, what are you doing to prepare or be better off tomorrow? What are you doing today? Some people, they stock food, stock ammunition, they stock cash, fiat dollars. Maybe some of you out there have thought about silver or gold. I would encourage you to do that. If that's something that you can afford and something you're interested in holding, physical precious metals, physical gold, physical silver, then maybe send me a message. I could talk to you about that. I do not get any money from that, anything, not benefiting, just trying to maybe help you out to be better prepared for tomorrow, no matter what happens. Some near these geese, they really didn't like it, so I kind of decided, okay, I'll fly away again. If anybody's thinking about getting into flying drones, I don't know, I find it really relaxing. I thoroughly enjoy it. Here's the main parking area and the main dock that kind of all the public uses. They're just kind of going to make a run at that. So here we go. You can see that dock used to be like all the way up to where the guardrail starts. There was water, and that was just a few years ago. So I remember fishing there. And now last time I went to go fishing there, the water was, you can see 30 feet away from the end of that dock. And there's no sense in trying to fish off the dock. Again, this is Lake Cicott and public access area. Anybody can pull in here, fish, wander around, do some walking if you want. It is really nice and quiet. There's not a lot. They call it a town, but Lake Cicott, I wouldn't really call it a town. It's a collection of some houses. And I'm not really sure what's causing the water loss, over the years, why it's down so much. I mean, there's probably people with theories and speculations, but who knows? And back to the geese. It's fun to watch some animals just in the wild doing their thing. I'm going to go up to 400 feet here and just take a wider view of everything. So why 400 feet? Pardon me. In part of the FFA rules with drones and all that is you can't go over 400 feet above ground level with your drone unless you get permission from the FAA, all kinds of stuff. So generally, I'll keep it below 400 feet, stay within the laws and that. So right now we're at 400 feet above that water down there. Just kind of taking in the bigger view of things. So yeah, if you are going to get into doing drone things, there are laws in that you do have to follow that maybe you don't know about. You still have to follow them even if you don't know it. Unfortunately, that's how it is. They're not going to say, well, you didn't know. So just always be safe when you're doing stuff. There could be other aircraft in the area. There could be animals coming through, Canadian geese, it flying in the air. You always want to watch out, make sure everything's safe. This is just more of the water. Kind of gets a little murkier here, but we're going to find those geese back. So, if anybody likes the RamChat, just like the video or leave a comment, let me know and say, hey, I prefer this over the crappy uncopyrighted music or the copyrighted music, which then YouTube, gets all crazy about because they don't like you using copyrighted videos or copyrighted music over your videos, even though everybody enjoys it and it's probably promoting that song. But it is what it is. Back to the geese. I'm coming down even further, keeping them in frame, kind of panning up with the camera while I come down. And we'll just end right there. And I appreciate everybody watching this show today. And have a great week.